and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Ritu Singh and with me is my colleague Arundhati Ramanan. Here are the top headlines from the startup space. Can't say no more. Zoho founder and CEO Sridhar Vembu refuses to confirm the SaaS company's planned foray into semiconductor manufacturing. But in a post on social media platform X, Vembu wrote, "Semiconductor tech is vital. Companies need to step up and make investments."
Go-Digit General Insurance's IPO subscribed nearly 10 times on the last day, led by large institutions and mutual funds. Retail blocks subscribed around 4 times the actual shares on offer. The company is raising over 2,600 crore rupees from the public issue.
Victoria's Secret will soon be on Myntra. Fashion conglomerate Apparel Group has partnered with Myntra to expand the digital presence of the American lingerie and beauty brand in the country, catering to younger generations.
Uber and Ola rival Blue Smart hits 500 crore rupees in annual revenue run rate. The EV ride-hailing startup is said to have achieved $60 million ARR in April 2024, up from $29 million in April 2023, say sources to CNBC-TV18.
Education lending-focused fintech Propelled secures over $25 million in debt funding from 9 lenders such as Credit Suisse, AU Small Finance Bank and others. The funds raised will help expand operations of wholly owned subsidiary and NBFC EdGrow.
66% of India's top valued unicorns are embracing artificial intelligence, according to a report by EY. Another report by TCS shows 47% of CEOs expect AI to eliminate more roles than create new ones.
Facebook's parent company Meta comes under the European Union scanner again. The European Commission says it is investigating if Meta's Facebook and Instagram platforms have stimulated behavioral addictions in children. All right, those are the headlines that we were tracking for you today on Startup Street. Now, internet-first, direct-to-consumer luggage and travel accessory startup Icon has secured $1.2 million in a seed funding round, which was led by DSG Consumer Partners with participation by a host of other angel investors. Now, Icon, which caters to the mass premium segment, will use this capital to augment its existing product line, expand the team, and strengthen its distribution network. So joining us now to tell us more about the company and this funding is Mohammed Patel, the CEO of Icon, and also with me is my colleague Arundhati. Mr. Patel, thank you very much for your time here on CNBC TV18. If you could start by telling us about why you decided to launch another travel accessory and luggage company with multiple brands already competing in the space, because this is also a product that typically will have limited repeat purchase value as well. What are the gaps that you identified in the market?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. So we decided to start Icon, the luggage and travel accessories brand. This is such a category that no major innovation, upgrade, or change has been done by the incumbent or legacy brands since decades. You'll see pretty much the same black and blue generic-looking luggage and backpacks whenever you go to any airport in India. So now we feel that the time has came where the luggage and backpacks will evolve beyond just a functional ability. It will soon become one's personal style statement and statement of the identity and taste. It is more and more becoming a fashion accessories. So that's why we decided to launch another brand in luggage and travel accessories categories to bridge that gap and serve the consumer who deserves that.
All right. Hi, Mr. Patel. Arundhati here. So, tell us about this $1.2 million of seed funding.
And this 1.2 million seed fund will be used to ramp up our existing product line and expand our team. And majority of it will go to do a unique marketing campaigns and strengthen the distribution network.
Okay, we got that, but given again, coming back to the fact that it is a competitive market, Mr. Patel, give us a sense of your cost and unit economics. How much of the spend are you, how much of your total spends are on marketing alone, for instance? What sort of contribution margins you're seeing in the space and the revenue and profit that you're clocking? So a picture of your financials.
December, so it's initial days for us for the unit economics. But we, out of this fund, we have decided around 65% for the marketing to ramp up.
All right. So we seem to have lost Mr. Patel there. We're trying to reconnect him at this point. So Icon has raised $1.2 million, and it's led by DSG Consumer Partners. Mr. Patel's back with us. Mr. Patel, as you were saying?
Yes. So this funding will be majorly used in the marketing and expanding the product line. And so this is so much competitive market, but you see uniqueness in the luggage is still missing. So we are trying to get that via introducing our broader handle luggage in India. And we are trying to launch more and more fashionable products like vintage suitcases into the market.
Right. Speaking about that, the Indian tours and travel industry is expected to grow by 12 to 15% this fiscal. And the Indian luggage market is estimated to be around 20,000 crore rupees. So how large is this opportunity for you in this young mass premium players like you?
So as per the recent industry reports, the current 20,000 crore industry size is expected to grow by 14% per annum for the next 3 years. And after that, it will still grow at 11% per annum. And if you see, as per today's market, out of those 20,000 crore, around half of that is still unbranded. So we are trying to capture the unbranded space. And also, out of those 20,000 crore, 35% of the space is for mass premium market. So we are trying to convert the unbranded consumer to branded one on the mass premium segment.
Okay, so 25% of the 50% of the total market that is unbranded is your target. But, this is not really your first rodeo. You've had MyFitness, your previous venture that was acquired by Mensa Brands earlier. The lessons from that you're going to bring to Icon in the longer term, what your plan would be? Are you also looking to sell this company, or would you want to scale it to a point?
So based on our previous experience with MyFitness, we have tried and tested many different things in operations, marketing, and in product launch. So based on those learning, our longer plan in Icon is to start online only. With once we reach good penetration in online, we'll start company-owned exclusive brand outlets in high streets of major metro cities. And after that, we are planning for a retail distribution network.
Okay, so you preempted my next question. That was what I was going to come to. While you're an internet-first brand, you are considering a retail presence. How soon will we see you on that front? Because omni-channel is the way to go, is the route to go right now.
Yeah, omni-channel is inevitable. You have to go where the consumer is. If the consumer is on the mobile, you have to be on the mobile. If the consumer is on the TV, you have to be on TV. If the consumer is shopping in the street, you have to be on the street. Omni-channel is must for every brand.
All right, Mr. Patel. But how soon will we see your first retail shop?
Hopefully starting 2025.
All right, starting 2025. All right, Mr. Patel, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and we wish you all the best with this venture going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to move on to the fintech space, where after 6 countries, payments giant PhonePe has now enabled UPI in Sri Lanka in partnership with Lanka Pay, which has 4 lakh merchants on its platform. Now, PhonePe has gone live with all of them at the moment. My colleague Aishwarya Anand visited Colombo to get a sense of how UPI works there. Here's a special report that she filed.
If you're traveling to Sri Lanka, you don't just have to depend on your credit card or debit card or exchange currencies. Now, you can use UPI to make all sorts of transactions. How? Well, PhonePe has enabled its UPI payments acceptance in collaboration with Lanka Pay. PhonePe users now traveling to Sri Lanka will be able to make UPI payments across Lanka Pay QR merchants nationwide. I'm here in Colombo for 2 days to give you a sense of how this will work. So, what are we waiting for? Let's find out. So, I'm here at Colombo's Bengal Face Mall, and I'm going to enter a spa salon where PhonePe has enabled its UPI with the merchant here. So let's try the feature out and see how it works. Users can simply scan Lanka QR code to make secure and quick payments without carrying cash or calculating currency conversions. Their account will be debited in INR, showing the currency exchange rate. These transactions are facilitated by UPI and Lanka Pay National Payment Network. So now that I have showed you how PhonePe's UPI is working in Sri Lanka, I have seen many Indian tourists in the mall. Let's go and check out with them how their experience has been. Where are you guys traveling from?
We are from India.
Delhi.
Okay, Delhi. You're traveling from Delhi. Okay, all right. Now that UPI has been launched in Sri Lanka and PhonePe is enabling it, tell me, how do you think it's going to impact your lives?
It will be very easier for us to travel and make the payment online, and we can buy anything, we can shop anywhere, so it will be very easy.
And we do not have to carry any cards or any cash going to the stores, and we got to know about this and we purchased these things from the UPI only, so it's really great.
PhonePe in Sri Lanka, it will help us to do convenient payments to our merchants.
It's very seamless because it's like doing the transaction at home. I don't need to worry about carrying cash in my hand, especially in a cab ride like this where I don't need to look for change.
The largest tourist contingent comes from India. So that this partnership is critically important because we want to drive transactions and especially we went through economic crisis, and tourism is supposed to be the revival of economic crisis in Sri Lanka. And with partnership with PhonePe, we want more and more tourists as well as business travelers from India to start using. We have nearly 400,000 merchants enabled using Lanka QR in Sri Lanka.
Is this something that you've launched only for the Indian users from a PhonePe perspective, or can Sri Lankans also use it for their payments? How does that work?
So to begin with, I think the first phase we are looking at is the Indian app users coming and transacting at merchant locations out here. Nothing rules out the vice versa as well. It's a function of some of the other handshakes that need to be done.
Help us understand how many countries are you already present in, and what are some of the countries that you're looking to foray into after you're done with Sri Lanka?
So I think as of now, the 6 countries, we're done with UAE, Singapore, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Bhutan. Wherever NPCI goes and plays the role of an enabler, we immediately go and start the on-ground activities over there. I think in the coming months, we will definitely see a Thailand, Indonesia, Qatar, I think UK, US, Europe. I mean, these are at least the countries that I know are in different stages of going live. Mostly in the H2 of this year is when we will see a lot of traction with these geographies as well.
Wherever you're present right now, which other markets that's dominating scene?
UAE is one, Singapore, Nepal we have seen good traction. I think it's been almost 2.5 months that we have started this exercise. In terms of absolute numbers, I think we have crossed almost 27,000 transactions by now, and almost 40 million Indian rupees of transaction processing value. But I'm pretty confident that in a year's time, we should cross the 1 million transaction threshold, at least for sure.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. Coming up next, we enter the world of artificial intelligence. Where does India stand? We tell you after this very short break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Startup Street. Now, artificial intelligence is influencing the way people work and hire, not just globally, but in India as well. There have been a host of reports on the impact of AI and its adoption by corporate India. Arundhati has been going through some of those reports and is standing by with the highlights.
Thanks for that. Absolutely. Artificial intelligence, that's the buzzword echoing across the world, and companies only expect to see explosive growth in the sector over the next 10 years. So where does India stand today and what has been the rate of adoption? EY is addressing exactly that question in its latest report. India's legacy businesses are trading with caution, but startups and global capability centers are taking the lead in AI deployment. An online analysis of the publicly disclosed adoption of AI and Gen AI by India's top 50 most valued Indian unicorns shows that 66% are already using AI or Gen AI technology. This indicates that startups have been more proactive in terms of adopting AI technology versus legacy players. Now, let's take a look at some of the most implemented Gen AI use cases among India Inc. 1/3 of them use Gen AI to execute point tasks using intelligent assistants, while 25% relate to marketing automation. In fact, this quarter has also seen a diversification in investments going into firms using Gen AI or AI applications. However, the report highlighted that hallucination of LLM or large language model responses, data privacy and sovereignty, and the cost implications of deploying Gen AI in production are the top issues. Meanwhile, another report by TCS lists out the same concerns with generative AI, but delves deeper into the kind of impact artificial intelligence can have on the economy. The report, which interviewed over 1,300 CEOs, looked at the potential of AI for business and how it compared with the past disruptive tech like the internet and smartphone. While 54% believe the impact would be greater or equal to the internet, 59% say that it would be greater or equal to smartphones. The study also found that 49% of those interviewed expect AI to have no impact on the number of jobs created, while 47% expect more roles to be eliminated than created. Finally, a report by Microsoft and LinkedIn found that an overwhelming 92% of those surveyed were already using artificial intelligence at work versus the global average of 75%. The survey, which included 31,000 people across 31 countries, also found that 91% of Indian leaders believe that they need to adopt AI to stay competitive. However, 54% worry that their organization lacks a clear plan and vision for AI implementation. Despite this, employees are eagerly embracing AI tools, with 72% of Indian AI users bringing their own AI tools to work. 75% of Indian leaders stated that they wouldn't hire someone lacking AI skills, outpacing the global average of 66%. The report, aptly titled AI at Work is Here, now comes the hard part. It says that AI is transforming the world of work, reshaping the talent landscape, and nudging both individuals and organizations to embrace change.
Well, startups are the best adopters of AI so far. Arundhati, no surprises there. Thanks very much for bringing us those findings. Now, my colleague Rashna Dhanrajani also spoke to LinkedIn India's head for talent solutions and Microsoft India's managing director, Irina Ghosh, about this report. Take a look.
We do this flagship report, and this is the fourth one that we're doing. Of course, the first one that we're doing together with LinkedIn. And the entire pivot of this has been on three things. How do we work? How do we lead? And how do we hire? So the first finding is towards saying that 92% of knowledge workers in India are using AI to improve their own productivity. The second is towards saying that when you are looking at hiring people who are actually the powerhouse of the culture of the organization, 75% of the people are saying that they would prefer hiring people with higher levels of AI skill sets. And finally, when you see as to how people will be leading, leaders are saying that they will be using co-pilots to increase their efficiency. 90% of them are using it for their day-to-day work. 91% are using it for their next day's work. It's very, very pervasive right now.
Right, that is quite interesting. When it comes to hiring the workforce, you have seen the trends coming in from the managers, from the hiring side, as well as from people who are applying for jobs. And it is not unknown that it's very easy to apply for jobs on LinkedIn. So how is it that you think AI is helping LinkedIn as an offering as to grow much better in terms of on both the sides?
So one thing that's very clear, that if we look at it, if AI is opening doors to the future of work, skills first is your entry ticket. And that's one thing that we're seeing across the platform, where skills first is the approach that both recruiters and hiring managers look at, as well as when we look at talent, that when talent is looking at getting ready for these roles, right? And what we've seen is that while we've seen a skills shift from 2015 till now, globally there has been a 24% shift in skills for the same roles. In India, it's 30% shift. And we expect to see that shift go up to 68% by 2030, which means skilling becomes very important. And in response to that, we're seeing that members on the platform, especially in India, are really adopting much faster, because we've seen a 142x increase in our members adding AI skills, like even using Copilot or ChatGPT. And more importantly, a 160% increase in non-tech workers adopting AI skills. So that's been something really telling as far as this report is concerned.
Right. Irina, it was somewhere early last year when we saw the demo of Copilot, and this 1 year we've seen it, how it has unfolded, how this whole world of generative AI has been taking over the entire world by a storm. What is it that you are gauging in terms of Indian tech workers or knowledge workers picking up when it comes to AI? Of course, we saw the concept of BYOAI, which is extremely interesting. Could you take us through that?
So the AI overall philosophy for us is that infusing it in every tech stack of the products that we have. Whether you look at Microsoft 365 for things that you're doing on emails, whatever you're doing for meetings, how you're creating your presentations, to developers, how they're kind of reimagining the way they write codes via the GitHub Copilot. For professionals who are in sales and services, with sales and services Copilots, that entire range of the Copilot family, our dream is to say that in the era of AI, how can we be a Copilot in India's AI mission? And the pertinent part here is that we are kind of seeing it come across in a very inclusive manner. It's happening across, we already have about 500 customers across banking, manufacturing, financial services, healthcare, agri-tech, etc. Evolved that. And we are also working along with them towards ensuring that through AI boardroom series, how can we understand what are the critical business problems to be solved and how can we do it in a very inclusive manner with them.
So what AI is doing two things. One is helping us with tasks, and that task helps us make it easier to do some work. And the other is to make us better at our jobs, right? So if we adopt these skills and we're getting ready for, with roles which will have newer skills that will be added, I think it's more about the tasks that will change and not the jobs.
Right. Lastly, I'm going to quickly ask you this question. We recently saw GPT-4o come in, which was an omni-channel offering. What's next for Copilot? Will there be omni-channel coming in from Copilot as well?
We already announced that as soon as things are coming across in OpenAI, the same release is also happening in Azure OpenAI. So whatever you think from a multimodal way of kind of looking and seeing things, that has already got infused in our Azure OpenAI stack. And we, of course, envisage a world when you say see, hear, and feel in a multimodal manner. That's the way things will be evolving.
Right. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us on CNBC-TV18. Thank you.
So lots happening there in the artificial intelligence front, but it is Friday, so let's take a look at the startup funding picture. According to Venture Intelligence, Indian startups witnessed 16 deals worth $395 million this week. Let's talk about some of the notable ones. First up, e-retail unicorn Meesho announced the first close of its new funding round with $275 million added to its kitty. Elevation Capital, Peak 15 Partners, Process Ventures and others invested in this round.
Well, Meesho was the big one, but it was not the only one. Battery tech startup Battery Smart raised $45 million from British International Investment, Blue Ventures and others. Some of the other names also include ambulance operator Red Health, which secured $20 million. Agri-robotics startup Nico also raised about $30 million in a Series B round. And gold loan player Rupeek got nearly $6 million, but at a 60% cut in valuation. So this year, Indian startups have now seen 320 deals worth $3.41 billion so far. Okay, so that's as far as the funding picture is concerned. On that note, we're going to wrap this edition of Startup Street. From Arundhati and me, it's a goodbye, but stay with CNBC-TV18. More news and updates will continue on the other side.